You go to these county conventions and you see the Gestapo tactics, the scorched earth tactics.
Gestapo tactics?
Yeah,
that's a strong word.
Well, you look at, we're going to be filing several protests because the reality is they're not playing by the rules.
CBS News Chief White House correspondent Major Garrett is in our Washington bureau, and he joins us now. Major, you just heard the Trump campaign manager condemning Ted Cruz's delegate strategy. Paul Manafort even likened Cruz's strategy to Gestapo tactics. So this is pretty strong rhetoric, but will it actually do any damage to Cruz?
Well, just on the rhetoric side for a moment, sometimes it's hard for me to figure out if the Trump campaign is so in love with irony that it forgets things that it says are so ironic, or it's engaging in an act of public self-parody. I mean, let's just remember, a month ago, give or take a week or so, Donald Trump favorably retweeted a quote from Benito Mussolini, the fascist dictator of Italy during World War II. And now his campaign convention manager, Paul Manafort, accuses Ted Cruz of Gestapo tactics. I mean, it's a little bit hard to imagine. As for the rules and what's actually going on, that's going to be contested as this process goes forward. What the Trump campaign is desperately trying to do tactically right now is send out a bright red set of flashing lights to its supporters in future primary states, specifically New York, but elsewhere. Hey, we've got to win these primaries, and we've got to win them big, because if we don't run up delegate halls now, where we're going to be better organized to work the secondary and third level process of actually keeping those delegates, we're going to be in big trouble. So this is inflamed rhetoric. I don't think it's advisable for any candidate in American politics to talk about the Nazis or Gestapo tactics, but they've gone there. Can't recall that. But I think tactically what it's about is telling Trump supporters, we are in a huge fight now. Don't think this is over. Get out to vote. There's one problem with that strategy, though. Apparently it didn't get to the inner circles of the Trump family, because this morning Trump admitted 2 of his children in New York aren't even registered to vote and won't participate in next Tuesday's primary. Ouch.
Yeah, big ouch, big ouch. And Major, is anything that Cruz is doing, is that actually out of bounds?
Not that we can tell. Look at Colorado this weekend. I talked to Trump people all last week. They said, we're going to get blown out in Colorado. The process started long before we were organized. It is at the county congressional district level. That's a state convention where caucuses are held, and then your delegates are going to get allocated, and we're going to get blown out. We have no expectations from Colorado. They knew that internally, and yet Trump, seeing Cruz win 34, all of the 34 gettable delegates, is now saying it's a crooked process and something that should engender outrage among Colorado Republicans, and now they are calls for Trump to come to Colorado and hold a massive protest to denounce this system. Look, the system is what it is. The rule books are what they are. And what Trump has failed to appreciate is, as he's become less and less popular nationally and more of a threat to Republicans for a lot of reasons. But many Republicans view him as a potentially dangerous nominee for the party, both politics and on policy. He now has state-by-state party organizations that are close, maybe not 100% aligned, but generally speaking close to the so-called Washington-based establishment. And they're going to know the rules better, they're going to use the rules better, and Cruz is tight with all those people, or in many cases, most of those people. Now, Paul Manafort said on Meet the Press the Trump campaign is going to file appeals. Well, we'll see how those are adjudicated. But the fact is, based on everything I've seen so far, the Cruz people were better organized, knew the rules, had the people, had the delegate slates, and won fair and square.